Hey folks, Cody here. It's been 5 full days since I first purchased this Yamaha FGX5 red label dreadnought acoustic guitar, and I took it immediately to a 3-hour gig that evening. And so I want to tell you my first impressions. I'm going to do a full deep dive review later on. I'll be comparing this guitar against the guitar that I've been playing as my main guitar, the Martin D18, in future videos. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. But I did want to give you my first impressions before I get too nitpicky on this instrument. I know a lot of you folks out there put in the comment section that I chose the right one when I went and tried out all those guitars last week, and I'm very happy with the decision, and I'm probably going to be rethinking a couple things about my live performances here moving forward. A little business before we get started here, folks. This is a bluegrass guitar channel, and the way we keep the lights on here is through the purchase of my beginner-friendly bluegrass course, Flatpick Foundations. It's helping hundreds of students around the world, here are some stories right here, finally wrap their heads around the bluegrass guitar style of music. The program is both a course that teaches you how to speak the basic language of bluegrass music, and then it's also a growing resource where you can go in and learn different tunes, prepare for a break maybe for going to a jam, on-screen tabs on every single lesson. I just finished a big update last month, February of 2026, and so there's lots of fresh new lessons in there. Also a free mini course right down below if you want to learn the basics, but let's get into this guitar review. So like I said, I bought this guitar last Friday at about 2:00 p.m., drove back to Knoxville, and then we had a gig from 10 o'clock till 1 o'clock in the morning. Here's a quick clip from the show, and then I've got 3 points or pros that I'm going to talk about today, if you will. We'll do pros and cons. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to mention the con, or rather it's something that I'm going to be watching closely about this guitar. All right, let's listen to the clip. The first point I'm going to make here is how easy this guitar is to play for me specifically, and there's a big reason for that. And point number 1 is the guitar width. When I got this on stage, immediately I could play easier with it, and I knew it was because this body is slightly less wide than the Martin that I'm used to playing. So when I did the measurements, the Martin is about 1/4 of an inch wider down here at the part really I'm wrapping my arm around. So I've talked about this on so many of my videos, just the fact that the dreadnought guitar is a lot of guitar to sit and hold, have your technique right if you're flat picking, and smaller body guitars make it a little easier to stay accurate and play better. That is my opinion at least. And I felt that immediately on stage this night. The smaller instrument just made me play better. I was more confident. Whenever I'm playing live and I mess up a break, which I'll show you here in just a second, that tends to have an impact on the rest of the night. But if you get up there and initially you're playing really well, then you're gonna feel better the rest of the night. And that's exactly how I felt with this instrument. And so I think it's all connected. I also talk about posture. I've been going to the PT over like some hip swing issue. And so when there's a smaller bodied guitar and you can just wrap yourself around it, you have more control. And so that's really the basis of why I think that I'm gonna be changing maybe from the D18 at a regular gig to this guitar, because it just feels better. And for me, because I do this full time now, a guitar is a tool, right? So if you were a welder, or if you're going to the work site, you don't want to hold a tool in your hand that's uncomfortable all the time. And so, man, I don't know. If a 1/4 inch difference is making me feel this better about playing, I think an even smaller bodied guitar might do a world of difference. But the width of the guitar in review, that's point number 1, much smaller than at least the Martin D18. And I feel like this impacts the playing. And let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Maybe you've got a smaller bodied OM or triple O or something like that. Does it make your playing easier? But yeah, really enjoying just the overall feel and the size of this guitar. Okay, point number 2, I want to brag and talk about the pickup system here. I don't know a lot about it still. I've got a lot of research to do. That's why I'm going to deep dive into this pickup system in a future video. But this thing got more compliments from folks that don't even play music out in the audience than my D18 ever has. But what folks were saying was like, man, your guitar sounds clear. Like it's coming through really clear. On the video here, I'll show you a break to on the road again. I kind of mess up, but it just comes out packing a punch. And when I look inside of the sound hole, this system looks unlike anything that I've ever seen. There's basically like a computer chip inside of the guitar. So I'm really interested to learn more about that. The other thing here, I'll play the video clip and then I'll plug it in so you can kind of hear through the PA, is I've never seen AA batteries in a pickup system. Maybe this is normal. I've never seen it. I was expecting this to be a 9-volt, had it all charged and ready to go, and it comes out with a little tray there with AA. See that? And quite frankly, I like the AA. There's been a couple times the past year. I always keep rechargeable batteries on me, but if I leave the spare at home, I'll freak out on the way to the gig, stop at Family Dollar or what have you to buy one of the real crappy like $2 batteries. They don't even have the 9 volts in stock. And so AA, you can stop anywhere and get a couple AA. I really like that. So this pickup system, so far, very good. All right, the third point before I get to the con, or the thing I'm worried about with this instrument here, is the origin of where this guitar was made. This is more of just something I find really interesting, and I really want you to chime in with your opinions down here because this is kind of hard to articulate. But this guitar was made in Japan. I realized in the comment section when I posted the original video when I shopped for the guitar that not all Yamahas are made in Japan. I kind of assumed they were, but apparently they do produce some of their guitars in China. The Japanese-made guitar is obviously the one that's sought after, but that sort of creates a bit of a conundrum, if you will. Not really a conundrum, but we all know that, you know, products here in the US that come from Japan, I think of like Toyotas, car manufacturers, they usually have a really good reputation because Japan is a country that's well known for just producing high quality goods. So basically, things that are made in Japan, good. Things that are made in China, usually not so quick to think that's good. But I say that because so many instruments nowadays are produced in China, all right? Now, I'm gonna tell you a personal story here that I don't think I've ever mentioned on this channel. And I mention all this because it literally hits a bit close to home. I spent much of my adult life, I'm in my late 30s now, I spent 7 years as an educator in a traditional classroom in Asia. So I lived in South Korea and also in the country of Vietnam. Actually, here is a video, one of the first videos I ever recorded for the purpose of uploading to a YouTube channel, not this one, was a guitar shop in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, where I lived and worked as a 6th grade earth science teacher for 4 years. If you're interested about that whole thing, let me know. I can do some videos on it. But point is that this was a random street in Saigon, and it was just full of guitar makers. This guy here, Mr. Ben, he was making custom guitars out of real good tone wood for like $350 US. I'm an idiot for never buying one. The point to all this is that just because a guitar comes from Asia doesn't mean that it's low quality. And it's so interesting to have this Japanese model in my hand. Nobody was saying anything bad about the Japanese purchase in the comment section. I think for good reason. It is a really stout guitar from a manufacturer that's been around for ages and is known to produce good products. But just open this up for discussion, right? I'm happy I bought this guitar. I don't care that it comes from Asia, but there's so much flack against a lot of the guitars that are coming from China. I don't know. So in a nutshell, that's just interesting to me. And now I'll get to the fourth point here. Something I often talk about on the channel is my issue with staying in tune, all right? Now, these tuners are working great. I do feel like this might be something that could be problematic in the future. I don't know, Yamaha, I hope you prove me wrong. You certainly know how to manufacture good products, as I just said. Here's the thing. I installed these Waverleys which have a lifetime guarantee. I think these Waverly sent me back about $250 a couple years ago. I installed them on the Martin recently. They were on the Recording King. Quite frankly, I didn't play it a lot for the longest time, but now they're on the Martin. And after a couple months, the B string, quick switch to the Martin here with the Waverlys on it. The B string just has a lot of play in it, especially compared to the other tuners. And so that's what I'm interested to see. I have a theory that it's the way that I hold my guitar, because it's always the B string tuner that goes loose, where there starts to be play in it. And that's been on every guitar I've played for like the past 2 or 3 years. I really hope it doesn't become an issue with these tuners on the Yamaha. If it is, it might not even be their fault. It could be something that I'm doing I'm not really aware of, but yeah, that is my first impressions of this guitar. I do think this will become my main gigging guitar from here on out. I'll also mention that I really like the logo on the headstock. I am glad that it doesn't just say Yamaha. I feel like an idiot because I thought this was a snowflake until I looked closer and it's clearly like tuning forks in a formation. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Don't forget, this is going to be an entire series on this Yamaha FGX5. I'm going to pit it against the Martin. I'm going to play it live more. I'm going to put the tone device on it so we can age it. I'm going to dive in deep to the pickup system and just learn everything we can about this guitar. So subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this type of content. Stay tuned for bluegrass lessons, gear reviews, discussions, talks, interviews, all of the above. Folks, I really appreciate you being here. Really, I do. It's great to have you folks here on the channel and engaging and learning. And that's what it's all about, because life's short, so we should play the guitar and bluegrass music. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. Take care.